who, in case you guys didn't know, I used to have a huge crush on. But before we get into things, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so we can keep doing little live sessions like this and keep you updated on all things going on in Bachelor Nation. Well, you guys, we are back again. I'm Renee Ariel, and I'm joined by Fiona Zering.
Hello.
And wow, another day, a lot more happening in the world of The Bachelor. So you guys, where to begin? You know where I think we need to start this off with our favorite couple that isn't, but still trolls us, Hannah Brown and Tyler Cameron, because Tyler's trolling us a little bit. Will you please tell us about that?
Oh my goodness. Well, our fave Miss Hannah Brown had a sleep paralysis episode, which is obviously unfortunate and scary. She tweeted, "Sleep paralysis is the scariest thing. I don't know why, but last night I had an episode and it was terrible. I feel for you guys who experience it regularly." So obviously a fairly serious sentiment, a bit of an ordeal for her to go through. And, Tyler decided to swoop in and try to make light of the situation, maybe give her a chuckle. He responded to her tweet with, "Don't y'all live in a house on a hill," which is a reference to Haunting of Hill House or Haunting on Hill House. I'm not a scary movie person. And Hannah responded, "Not today, Satan, not today." So looks like she's not a fan of scary movies either. And you know what? I thought it was funny. I thought it was a good little troll Tyler hit her with. I really just hope she doesn't experience any more sleep paralysis, because that would be a huge bummer considering everything else going on.
I know. Yeah, I will say this is like super flirty. I'm like, this is like when, you're teasing your crush about their fear. It's cute stuff. Sleep paralysis is the actual worst. I've had it before one time, and it was one of the scariest things that I'd ever gone through, because you are half awake, half asleep, and you can't move. And I remember it vividly when I got it. And this was like years ago. I was still living with my parents, which is so funny because I am right now too during quarantine. But when I was like in high school, I like woke up but wasn't awake. And I remember it felt like my fan was going to fall on me. I just like a fan on, and everything was kind of moving and I couldn't. And it was so freaky because you feel like helpless, like you can't do anything, but you're awake and aware of what's happening, but also like things are moving. It was so freaky. So I feel for Hannah on that. And I also feel for anyone that has that on a regular basis, because it's horrible. It's not fun. But Tyler Cameron's fun, and I loved his little response to her because they're cute, and I love when they flirt together.
I do too. I think it was a totally funny, flirty, casual moment. I don't think it confirms they're together or not together, but I do think it's keeping that hope alive.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Hello, Jenna, Danielle, Lazani. I hope I said your name right. Hey, you guys. Let's see. I'm late, but I'm here. Welcome. Just watched your stream from yesterday. I'm excited for today. Well, thank you for coming back. And Lazani, we are never tired about talking about anyone from Bachelor Nation ever, because listen to me, we love it, and we might not get the Bachelorette for a long time, okay? So we got to keep ourselves busy in the meantime. Jenna said she's had sleep paralysis before and it was terrible. Yeah, it's the worst. You know what else is kind of the worst? Pete Weber on TikTok. Should we just get into that? Because that's just, listen, you guys, we've talked about it. We've talked about it a lot. Pete Weber is trying to dance on TikTok. Is he Charli D'Amelio? No, he's not. He's not even close to Charli D'Amelio, but he thinks he is. And let me just tell you, obviously, we know people have been roasting him for his TikToks left and right, including our man, Tyler Cameron. Yes, and apparently he's very aware of it. So an Us Weekly source said that Peter is not bothered in the slightest, that he is the butt of the joke on TikTok. He's well aware of it. He reads the comments that fans leave and sees the videos that people make poking fun at his posts, which, by the way, if you guys have seen those videos where people duet his dances and just like tease him, they're very funny. Anyways, Then they went on to say, like, at the end of the day, he's just having fun with it and being creative, and the app helps pass time in quarantine, which I will say, TikTok definitely helps pass time.
Tell me
But
something we don't know.
right, TikTok, all the time I spend on TikTok. I think it's only fair that today, since we're all together, we take a moment and look at some of Peter's dances. So if we could just watch the first dance that we have on cue. Let's take a look, you guys. Oh God, how could he ruin this song for me? Like what?
It's kind of his facial expression that kills me. Like, does he think he's killing it?
I think he does. That's the thing. It's just like there's just so many dances he could have learned that they're easier. He can't do the hard stuff. And like I've seen people use that same audio and kill it. They like really hit the beat. I can't listen, I don't pretend to be a TikTok dancer. I don't know what I'm doing. I still can't whoa. Okay. I try, but I can't do it. So you don't see me trying to freestyle on TikTok like Peter does because listen, it's a lot. And it's funny. I will say, like, it does keep me entertained. I just don't know if it keeps me entertained for the right reasons.
I was going to say, here's the thing. Is he trying to be funny? Because I'm not sure he posted that and thought, oh, this is kind of funny. Like, I'm just kind of grooving. People will get it. We're all in on the joke. It's funny. I think he posted that and was like, now I'm going to show everybody I can dance.
I agree. And then when they feel the opposite about it, he's like, hey, yeah, I know. Let's see. Right. So Jenna Panda said that he's the dad of TikTok, and I agree. I do think he's like the dad of TikTok. Elena says that Pilot Pete TikTok duets are hilarious. They're one of my favorite things. And my For You page knows that I love them because they come up all the time.
Andy, I like what she said. He needs to stick with line dancing. I don't know, Andy. Have we seen him line dance? I know they showed it a little bit on the show, but maybe he's just not a guy with rhythm.
Wait, that's so true. I want to see him line dance. He could do that on TikTok because we all know that's a priority in his life, as told by his brother. That was like, are you sure you and Maddie are compatible? Does she line dance?
Does she line
you know what? That's what really broke them up. When they talked for 6 hours crying, it was because he found out she does not line dance, and it was very sad. You heard it here first on Shared News. But anyways, you guys, that's not the only video we have in queue for us to be entertained by and just admire his talent. Let's watch the next one. Maybe it's better.
Maybe.
Oh, look, a paper airplane because he's a pilot.
Oh, so pleased with himself.
These dances are usually really cool when they like start off slow and then the beat kicks in and you're like, whoa, how'd they do that?
Do you think he made this like up himself?
It's just like it ruins this trend because like that I can do that. And you know, if I can do something, it probably means it's not that cool. If it involves dancing.
I'm just curious if he made up that little like foot combo himself or if he looked up like shuffling for beginners and that was like a starter step because it really didn't escalate with difficulty when the music sped up. It was just one very simple repetitive motion. Listen, all I have to say is if he thinks he's a great dancer and he enjoys dancing and he thinks he's being cool, more power to him. Do what you love. If he knows he's a bad dancer and he wants to be in on the joke and make people laugh, again, more power to him. Is it awful and cringy and hard to watch? Yes. But if he is happy, then everyone out there should just do what makes them happy. Personally, I would stop. But again, that's just me.
No, I totally agree with you. Like you know what I think it feels like? Okay, so apparently, if you feel a lot of secondhand embarrassment when you watch videos or movies, it means that you're very empathetic. I'm a very empathetic person, so watching stuff like this is very hard for me, okay? Mm-hmm. It's like watching high school movies where like the girl that's not that popular has something done really mean to her by the popular girl and you know it's coming and you're just watching like, oh my God. Like that's what it feels like every time I watch a TikTok with Pete Weber. Like it's very hard for me because I know it's about to happen. Man. I don't know. Let's just, you know what? Let's leave it at that.
Poor Peter.
You know, we get it. You know what I don't get though? What's going on with Victoria F and Crystals? I need answers.
So I don't have answers. I wish I did. I don't really have anything to go off of other than a couple of photos of the sunrise. But as Bachelor Nation is basically made up of FBI detectives, people have pointed out that Victoria F and Chris both posted photos of what looks to be an identical sunrise. So of course, the question of does this confirm they're in a relationship has been raised. Now, my favorite thing to see are Bachelor headlines that says, does this confirm? Because I always circle back to when they confirm, we'll know it's been confirmed. So do
Yeah.
these sunrise photos confirm they're in a relationship? In my eyes, no. Do they confirm that they're probably together and definitely dating and that sooner rather than later we're going to know exactly what's going on? Yes. That's just my opinion. I know Reality Steve previously tweeted out that they are one of the most random bachelor couples he's ever seen. He put, quote, I don't know how long this has been going on or how serious it is, but I can confirm that Victoria Fuller is currently together in Iowa for a week with Chris Soules. So if Steve's calling it, I'm going to go with my man Steve, and I'm going to go with the sunrise photos, and I'm going to say there's something going on. They're not confirming it yet, but they're not afraid to let people know that they're together because they had to know. They had to know people were going to put them together.
Yeah. No,
That's just
I
my opinion.
I totally agree. I think they're obviously together. I mean, we knew that based on like the couch photo, which we get it. They're definitely
Exactly.
together. We're just waiting for an answer from them, so we're taking what we can get. It's kind of like when you're a Taylor Swift. I feel like I make Taylor Swift references almost every live stream. I don't know if that makes me really cool or kind of lame, but I feel like with Swifties, like we're constantly looking for breadcrumbs and Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's like the same. I think right now, because we're in quarantine, that's what we're doing with literally everything in life. We're just any hint of
Exactly.
anything going on outside of our house. We're like, what are you together? Like, what's going on? So yeah, they're probably together. They're probably dating. Will they last? Will they survive quarantine? Who knows? Let's see. Oh, Heidi Truelove said that she loves Victoria and she knows everyone hates her, but she feels bad for her and feels like she grew on after the final rose. I think it's very possible she's grown. I mean, obviously, people can become better versions of themselves and learn from things, learn from past mistakes. I just really didn't love her on Peter's season. I found her incredibly manipulative and like she was gaslighting him all the time. And I have an issue with
Mm-hmm.
that, just watching that play out. Just like I did with like Luke P on Hannah Brown season. It was very hard for me. So that's where I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like her. But I will say there was a difference. Like with Luke P, he didn't learn anything on AFR. He was like or not AFR, Men Tell All. He was the same guy that we saw on the show that we hated. And with Victoria F, she seemed to have recognized her bad behavior. So I will give her that. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. I hope
I
they're
agree.
lying about their single status. What do you mean their single status? Have they both said that they're single? Or are you talking about Tyler and Hannah? Leanne, we got questions for you. Because
In the
I don't think
meantime,
I've what?
In the meantime,
By the way,
Danielle said, whoever found the identical sunrise pictures has a lot of dedication. And I agree, Danielle. I think whoever
yeah.
is out there doing all this sleuthing for us deserves recognition.
By the way, for anyone that gets confused when Fiona and I sometimes talk over each other and then stopped abruptly, it's because there's a little bit of a delay. So we genuinely feel like we're on like local news and we have to pause for a second and like make sure the other one's not talking. So that's what happens there. We're like, I like don't want to interrupt her. She doesn't want to interrupt me, but then we don't want silence. So that's what goes on there. Let's see what else. What else are people saying? She doesn't seem like his type at all, but okay. The thing is, I don't know what Chris Soules' type is. I did not watch his season. I know he picked, oh God, who was Kristen, Caitlin Bristow was on his season, yes? Am I,
I'm not sure.
you guys help me out here. This is like pre-Bachelor watching days for me. Let's see, hold on. I'm gonna do a quick, who did he pick? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I mean, she's definitely different. He likes blondes, I'm seeing based on this. Becca. The girl Becca was from his season. This all brings back memories. of just my Google searches not watching the season. But I don't know. Do you guys, yeah, opposites attract. I think that they're honestly, like what I've said before, is like if they make each other happy, they make each other happy, you know?
I know. I think if
But
Victoria F has had a lot of growth and has become a new person, and if he's grown too and they found each other and they'll keep growing together, then more power to them. Danielle also said if Tyler got his own season of The Bachelor, how do you guys think it would go? How do you think that would play out? Because Tyler, at least publicly, we've seen him date some pretty cool girls. So I wonder what he would be like as The Bachelor. Would you think he would be a successful bachelor, or sort of like a Peter who we were constantly going, oh, Peter, what are you doing?
I think Tyler would be a great bachelor because I think he would say yes to being the bachelor when he was actually ready, which is why he obviously wasn't the bachelor when they chose Peter, is because he wanted to date. He wanted to explore. He, put his heart in it fully for Hannah Brown. It didn't work out, and he didn't want to all of a sudden jump into the next thing, which is, I think, completely understandable. So because of that, because he can say no to a huge opportunity like that when he knows he's not ready, I think that if Tyler ever said yes to that opportunity, he would kill it.
Let's talk about someone who said no to the opportunity.
Oh God, you guys, this was like very hard for me. Okay, listen. So you guys may remember the other Peter. And by the other Peter, I mean Peter Kraus, who was on Rachel's season of The Bachelorette. Lots of controversy here. I know you guys probably have like very mixed opinions because I have talked about this with many people, but like, if you forget, basically it was down to Peter and Brian. She chose Brian, but after a very, very controversial conversation they had, because she basically was trying to get him to say he would propose to her if she picked him, and he said he couldn't do that. And then they had this like awkward breakup that seemed like it was only because he wouldn't propose to her because he didn't feel ready. And then on AFR, she literally said like, well, this process doesn't seem to work for you then, which it seemed as though she was trying to kill any opportunity he had of becoming the bachelor. But we just found out that wasn't what killed it. So Peter Kraus just went on Ashley Iaconetti and Ben Higgins' podcast, Almost Famous, which was a beautiful thank you for that. We needed that during quarantine, these hard times. And on it, he revealed that he was actually like in the running to be the next bachelor, and ended up just not working out because whether it was like money or he just decided it wasn't for him, whether it be the time, but it didn't work out. There was a lot of things he talked about in this interview that like kind of were in the way of him saying yes to that opportunity. But all I kept thinking about during that interview was like what could have been, because obviously this would have been seasons ago. I loved Peter. I will say though, more came out afterwards, or at least during the season, that I didn't see until afterwards, that he was like kind of a shady guy with a girl he was dating prior to the show, even going on before Rachel's season. But would you guys have liked Peter Kraus being the Bachelor? Because I loved him. Like, I thought he was so cute. And I think he would have handled things better than Peter, because even if, let's say, like, he didn't know he could get to a proposal by the end of the show, if he just got to like steadily dating someone monogamously, it would have been 10 steps ahead of this Peter.
That's true.
It.
Shirley in the chat said, I love Peter Kraus, ship him and Hannah B. And J Job said Peter Kraus dropped so much tea during that podcast. We have been getting such good podcast content. Seriously, thank goodness for all of the former contestants hosting their own podcasts.
Hey, dogs, it's just the UPS guy. Will you just shh? I apologize, you guys. My parents have dogs, and they get very worried when UPS comes to our doorstep. But I could see Hannah Brown and Peter Kraus together. I think they would be kind of cute. I don't know. Would you ship him with Hannah B over anyone else in Bachelor Nation, or is there someone else you think would be a better fit? Knowing, even just going off the girls of like Colton's season or Peter's season.
I don't know. I think that Hannah B, It's hard to tell. The thing is, I love her, so I can see her with so many different people, and just I think she has a fun, awesome personality. So I think she kind of brings a really great side to any relationship. But I also
Yeah.
think that like I would love to see Hannah dating a non-Bachelor Nation member. That's kind of what I want for
Yeah.
Hannah. I loved the days when we were shipping her with her Dancing with the Stars partner, just because I think like it would be nice for her to step out of that world and like kind of not move on from the chapter like it was an ugly chapter and she needs to leave it all behind her, but just for
Yeah.
something new, you know? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. But I also love her with Tyler Cameron and would be happy if they ended up together. So I just think Hannah's great
I get
overall.
it.
Peter, I think Peter is going to find someone special though, regardless of what happened in the past or if he
Yeah.
ever pops up on our TVs again. I think he'll end up with someone great.
I think so too. But speaking of people almost ending up with people, so we also want to take a little trip down memory lane of a couple other. There's like a whole list that we found, but there we want to go over some Bachelor favorites that almost became The Bachelor, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. So one of them was Jason Tardik, who I actually really loved. I thought he was such a sweet guy, and I thought he didn't get the camera time he deserved. Obviously, now he's with Caitlin Bristow, so that's like that ship has sailed and wasn't meant to be. But I think he would have been a pretty good bachelor. Other options were Blake, if you guys remember Blake from JoJo's, no, Becca's season. The one thing
Mm-hmm.
about Blake, though, is he kind of obviously later became a little bit of a villain. We could get into a whole discussion about my thoughts on Paradise because I still like Blake, nice guy. But yeah, he was definitely up in the running there. And then there was Chase from JoJo's season, who, you guys, like, don't hate me. I thought he was boring. I'm happy they didn't pick him. I thought he was kind of a boring pick. And lastly, Luke Pell. And I will say, everyone in this lineup so far has given me reason to believe that this is better that they did not become The Bachelor, because Blake obviously
Mm-hmm.
got a little heat from his time on Paradise. Jason found love on his own within Bachelor Nation, but on his own without the show. Chase, as you
Right.
know, I find him like stale bread. And then Luke Pell was kind of a little bit of a jerk on Winter Games. So all in all, I think they've made the right decisions in the past not picking these guys, but let's see what you guys have thought. Jason was perceived as boring, says Jay Jobs. I didn't think he was boring. Let's see. Heidi True Love says, no Blake. He was an F boy on Paradise. Totally can see where you're coming from there. Let's see. No to Blake. So yeah, people were really against Blake, and this is why it makes sense. But if we hadn't seen him on Paradise, would we have wanted him to be Bachelor? Because I feel like that's what ultimately changed things. Luke Pell would have
Right.
been horrible. I think we think he would have been horrible because we learned his true colors on Winter Games. So I do agree with you there. I don't know, Fiona, I don't think you saw Winter Games, no?
I didn't see Winter
So
Games,
like,
so I can't weigh in too deeply. I know a
yeah.
little bit of the tea.
So basically he like liked this girl, had a relationship with this girl like the whole show. And then when it ended, it like seemed like they were going to continue dating. And then on the reunion show, he acted like so cold to her, and they showed like footage when they didn't know cameras were rolling, and he was being such a jerk, and it changed because we all loved him before. It changed everyone's perception of him pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, see, Luke Pell was horrible on Winter Games. Do you think the Bachelor season on the show has enough? Wait, do you think? Oh, do you think there's enough time like throughout the show, like just in the process, to find love? I think it depends, because I think you can date someone for 5 years and they still won't be your person. And I think you can date someone for 2 weeks and maybe that is the right person, but you should obviously, wait a little bit more time, go at your own pace. But The Bachelor, like, I think it's a very interesting process because it speeds things up. I think it's something we won't understand unless we're in it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson I think would have been a good Bachelor. And I don't know, would he have ended up with someone and not dated all of his exes after the show ended? Who knows?
Oh
But you guys,
man.
we can answer a few more questions before we go. So if you have any other questions for us or comments, please let us know. But I'm gonna scroll up and see if I missed anything. Oh, here we go. Actually, I think we missed this one. Erin said that she thinks Hannah Brown and Tyler are purposely staying low because of all the public craze about them. So she thinks that if they go public, there will be even more pressure on them, which honestly I could see, especially considering Hannah Brown was just the Bachelorette, dealt with all of
Mm-hmm.
that public pressure, and then Tyler was dating famous people, which came with a lot of pressure as well. So I totally think that you may be onto something there.
I
Let's
agree.
see. Um, oh, let's see. Me and my husband got married after 3 months and have been married for 11 years. I believe in the process. That's the thing is like, there are people that get married after a short amount of time, a long amount of time. And like, it's not just the ones that knew each other for a shorter amount of time that are getting divorced or staying together longer. It just depends. If it's the right connection, it's the right connection. And obviously everyone goes at their own pace. I think the beauty in like taking your time, like obviously with these bachelor shows being sped up in like, what is it, eight weeks, three, is
Something
it
like
three
that.
months? Obviously like it's, especially considering it's a show and it's more of a process and you're not able to just date that person, you don't know them as well as you'd know them if you had just dated them in real life for 3 months. Like the show, you get
Right.
to know them less because even though they're telling you about themselves, you're not dealing with real life situations. So I think that's why a lot of bachelor couples fail. Isn't because they knew each other for 3 months, it's because of what context they knew each other for 3 months.
Right. It's like they exit the show sort of in that like honeymoon phase where you kind of
Yeah.
only know each other for a few weeks. You've only really seen the best version. Well, not necessarily the best version because we all know The Bachelor has its own share of drama and
Yeah.
tears and ugliness, but let's say close to the best version. You have an idealized version of this person, and the cameras stop rolling. You have way more time together. It's not just those really, really, really intense moments. The boring stuff comes into play, the hard stuff comes into play, real life, where you're going to live, what you're doing, like, are your actual lifestyles compatible? All of that can hit you like a freight train. And if the connection was there, maybe it works. And if the connection was sort of a picturesque, perfect version of what you hoped it could be, but it really doesn't hold up in the real world, it's not going to last forever. So I think The
Totally.
Bachelor and Bachelorette overall is sort of just like a really idealized situation. And if you're meant to be, then you'll find your way in that situation. And if you're
Yep.
not, probably not going to work out.
I agree with you. Let's get to one last question. Let's answer this one. Are we all hoping that they will recast Claire's season? I believe we've answered this a little bit before. I don't think that they should recast the entire cast, but I think at least 50% of them, because it is 99% guys that are younger than her. I think there's only one older than her and the one that's like close or is her age, and that's it. There's just those two guys. The rest are like in their 20s and like early 30s.
Yeah.
So I do hope that they do. I hope that they also are mindful of which ones are keeping and are really just paying attention to Claire's needs versus just like who they
Mm-hmm.
think will be good characters for the show when they do that. Because obviously like there might be a guy in there that she could really hit it off with. So just like they have to play matchmaker and know which ones they need to recast and which ones they should keep around. So those are
Totally.
my thoughts. I don't know your thoughts. Do you agree?
I couldn't agree more. I think that age is a number is like totally a real thing. There are plenty of couples with age gaps and that can totally work for tons of people. And Claire has said that she has no problem dating younger guys. So we don't need to just chop and eliminate everyone that isn't her age. But
Yeah.
considering almost everyone isn't her age, we're really only giving her a very strange sample to choose from in terms of, yes,
Yeah.
that situation can work, but in general, it doesn't always work. So they're kind of forcing her into a
Totally.
situation that might not work for her. So I agree with you. I hope they at least replace 50% of the guys that are younger than her. And if the guy she ends up with ends up being younger than her, amazing. Just give her the
Yeah.
chance to find that younger guy. I totally agree. I think they need
Absolutely.
to really seriously look at who they've cast and who actually make sense for Claire.
Totally agree. Totally agree with you. But on that note, you guys, that pretty much wraps up our live stream for today. But if you'd like to watch more live streams like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell, because we're all in quarantine. Bachelor Nation is still out there dating, trolling, posting TikToks, and we're going to be talking about it right here. But in the meantime, if you'd like to keep up with me and Fiona, you can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And where can they follow you?
You can follow me on all of the same places by @Fiona Zaring.
All right, you guys, we will see you next time.
Bye.